Okie dokie, here we go. Artichoke. I don't like artichokes. So we are talking about two easy topics today, niche and ecological organization. And yes, I want you to say that word, niche, just like it rhymes with the bad word. Okay, so don't say niche. Some people say that and it freaks me out. So organisms in a community have specific roles. Every animal in the world has a very specific role. That's going to be called its niche. And its role includes what kind of food it eats. Is it a producer, a consumer? Is it an autotroph, a heterotroph? How does it get its food? That's that auto-hetero again. What kind of predators does it have? When does it reproduce? What does it physically need to survive? So every organism has a niche and it is very specific. So let's kind of talk through like maybe two animals right here, maybe two or three. So let's look at a penguin. A penguin's niche. It eats fish. How does it get its food? It's a consumer, so it goes and eats it. Its predator includes the killer whale and the sea lion, big nasty things. How and when does it reproduce? Well, I don't know those exact details, but I have watched Happy Feet, so I know it happens. And the physical conditions it needs to survive, it needs to be cold. Real cold. Penguins probably will not do so well in the middle of a desert. Picture a hot dog at a gas station, slowly rolling between those two rolling heaters. That's what I imagine a penguin would look like in the middle of a desert, because they are fat and full of blubber. They would roast just like a hot dog. No good, okay? Penguins need to be cold in order to survive. So let's think about, let's pick another animal. Let's pick something good. I already did a bird. Let's do a bobcat, because that's what we are. So what does a bobcat eat? Well, you guys eat cheese sticks and pizza. No, I'm just kidding. Bobcats eat a variety of things, okay? They might eat some snakes. They might eat some small critters, mice, raccoons, rodents, something along that. They might eat other small mammals, maybe other smaller cats or foxes, rabbits. They're kind of predatory, so that's kind of answering the next question. How does it get its food? It's very predatory. A bobcat has very sharp teeth, so it can eat basically anything that's meat. A bobcat most likely does not have too many predators. Maybe another bigger cat, but I don't think we have much around here that's going to eat a bobcat. Maybe a coyote, maybe a hunter, a human, but I don't think humans count as predators typically. How and when does it reproduce? Same story with the penguin. I don't really know that answer, but I'm sure it happens. And then the physical conditions it needs to survive. Bobcats most likely are adapted to hunt at night. A lot of them hunt at night because animals are sleeping. It's much easier targets. So it needs to adapt really good eyes, night vision. It needs to have ears that can rotate and look all over the place. It needs to adapt claws to climb on the mountains. It needs to adapt sharp teeth so it can tear into prey. So a niche is a variety of things. So kind of think about your niche as you're going along here. Every organism has a variety of adaptations that are suited to specific living conditions to help it survive. So this guy here, he's all sorts of laying on that ice. He has adaptations that I totally don't have. I don't have fur. If I laid on that ice in a couple seconds, my skin would get very cold. After a few minutes or an hour, my skin would probably start to get frostbite. So, no fur. Also, and I say this with love, because this seal, he's good looking, sure. He's cute, but he's a little fat. He's got some chin rolls. What do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4. If you count this, 5. That chin just keeps on rolling. So this guy has some blubber that I totally don't have. His blubber allows him to lay on that ice and go into that icy cold water and really not feel a thing. Another adaptation that he has is nose holes that can close completely. My nose holes do not do that. If I wanted to stay underwater for an extended period of time, I would have to plug my nose either with an external plug, like a clip, or my fingers. Okay, his nose holes stay nice and tight. He's also got webbed feet so that he can swim through the water more efficiently. I don't have that either. So animals are adapted to their niche perfectly. If they live where it's hot, most likely they don't have a lot of fur. If they live where it's cold, most likely they have a lot of fur. Their ear holes, their nose holes, their eye holes, all are adapted. This guy has a ton of whiskers. Maybe having a ton of whiskers is an adaptation. Maybe it's just a fashion trend. I don't know. So organizing an ecosystem is pretty easy. We're going to start small and get big. We've always done that. We started with cells, tissues, organs, organ systems. Now we're going to start here. Organism. That's a specific animal. So you can see here we have one prairie dog. That's it, just one. That includes a species, a group of organisms that can mate with each other and make offspring. We've talked about the definition of a word species now, what, 3-4 times? Hopefully we know that by now. Organism is one. You are an organism. You are one human being. Keep that in mind. The next level is going to be population. All members of the same species are living together. So now we have 5 prairie dogs. We have 5 that are living in the same area. Look around. There are, let's say average, 20 humans in this classroom right now. We now have formed a population of humans. Same thing with these prairie dogs. There's a population of prairie dogs. There is a population of humans in room 714 right now. The next level is going to be community. Community is a particular area containing more than one species. So now we're going to throw in some other organisms. So you can see here we now have 3 organisms in this picture. We have a prairie dog, we have a snake, and we have some plant life. We're just going to generalize plant life. So the community is going to be all 3 of these populations together. Think of the Louisa County community. We have Thomas Jefferson. We have Louisa County Middle School. We have the high school, Moss Knuckles, Trevilians, and the other one I can't remember right now, and someone's going to yell at me. Trevilians? TJ, Thomas Jefferson. I think I didn't say that one already. Who knows? So all of those 6 schools come together to form the Louisa County community. Same thing with this picture. We have the prairie dog population, we have the snake population, and we have the plant life population. All 3 of those come together to form one community. We now have the prairie community. So that's where we're going to have an ecosystem. An ecosystem is when the communities that live together meet up and join with the non-living environment. So now we're taking the prairie dogs and the snakes and the plant, and we're adding in all this other stuff. We're adding in sunlight, water, temperature, how much wind is available, what kind of sand, dirt, or rock is around. All of those things are going to make an ecosystem. So you have a prairie ecosystem, a desert ecosystem, an ocean ecosystem, a pond ecosystem, and you guessed it, a forest ecosystem. So we're going to add the living and the non-living factors together at this step. So let's look at this picture. I think this is a super duper good picture, and I'm crossing my fingers. I hope I put it in your notes because I think it's really good. So let's start with the top here. We have the individual. So we have one little fishy. One little goldfish is the organism or the individual. When we have all of the goldfish together, that forms the population. We now have a population of goldfish. Then we have a community. We have combined all of the living things. We've combined the goldfish, the bluefish, the plant, the crab, and the jellies. Everything that's living has joined in the community. Our next step is the ecosystem. We've now added the non-living factors, this rock and the water. We did not talk about biome yet, and we're going to. What a biome is it's all of the ecosystems on Earth that are the same. So we have the Gobi Desert, and we have the Sahara Desert, and some other deserts that I can't think of right now because it's 9 o'clock and it's past my bedtime. But when we mix all 3 of those together, We have a desert biome. So you can see here we're just getting bigger and bigger. So I have two more examples I want to run through. When we talked about cells, here was your one cell. And then we put all the cells together and we had a tissue. And then we put all of your tissues together and we had an organ. That's when we put the muscle tissue and the cardio tissue together. Same thing, community. When we put those communities together, when we put those tissues and when we put those organs together, we formed an organ system. Same thing here, kiddos. Organ system. We put your cardiovascular system together, your nervous system, your skin or integumentary system, your muscular system. We put all of those together to form an organ system. When we put all of those organ systems together, we formed an organism. We formed you. We formed a perfect human body that can perfectly keep you alive until you get old. Most likely. Sorry, I just scared my cat. So one more example, we're going to use this classroom. So you are the individual. Every one of you listening to my voice right now, you are the individual. Then we look at all of the humans. On average, my classes are 20 people, including teachers. So 20 people form our human population. Then we form our community. So look around. We have humans. We have a ton of bacteria. We have a cat. Yeah, sure, he's dead, but he still counts. And we have plants. I have a couple plants behind my desk. So our community has 4 different populations in it. Humans, cat, bacteria, plants. Then we form an ecosystem in my classroom. And we add in the non-living factors. We have air. We have the temperature. Some days it's really cold, and then other days it's really hot. So our temperature is constantly changing. We have the sunlight and the artificial lights. Those are all non-living factors that help us in our ecosystem stay alive. And then when we take my classroom and Miss Swain's classroom and Miss Mandudis's classroom, and Miss Umstead, Miss Shiflett, Miss Stover, and Mr. Rupert, and Mr. Heising, when we take all of their classrooms together, we now have formed a biome, otherwise known as the 7th grade hallway. All of our classrooms are generally the same. We all have humans. We all have bacteria. A lot of teachers have plants. I don't think any other have cats. But we all have desk. We all have air. We all have temperature. So all of them are the same and they form a biome. So hopefully we're understanding what's going on. If you want this picture printed out, if it's not in your notes, let me know, but I'm crossing my fingers. I think it is. Once you're finished these notes, please go to Google Classroom or check up on the front whiteboard to figure out where you need to go next.